Okay, good morning children. So I think you went through the last three topics of capacitors which are related to series and parallel combinations which we have discussed. Okay, today we are going to study two more concepts regarding capacitors. Okay, the first concept is, okay, what would happen to various physical quantities such as charge, potential difference, electric field and so on. Okay, when you introduce a dielectric slab between the plates of a capacitor. Then second topic which we are discussing today is regrouping of capacitors. That means how does the charge distribution occur, okay, when you connect one capacitor to another. Okay, a charged capacitor to an uncharged capacitor, or by connecting two charged capacitors together. Okay, so let us begin the topic. Today I again repeat what are the two concepts we are going to discuss. First one, what we are going to discuss is what would happen if a dielectric slab is introduced between the plates of capacitor with battery and without battery. Okay, so assume that this is a charged parallel plate capacitor. So all the initial terms I will take it with naught. Okay, the charge on it is Q naught. Let the potential difference be V naught. And then electric field between the plates is E naught. Capacitance is C naught. Initial energy of the system is U naught. Again I repeat, we are taking a parallel plate capacitor which is already charged. Okay, not connected to battery, without battery. Once you charge it, we have removed the charging battery. And now all the initial terms I am representing with the symbols naught. Okay, E naught is the electric field, C naught is the capacitance, U naught is the potential energy and so on. And now we are going to study what would happen to all these five physical quantities. Okay, what are the five physical quantities? Charge, electric field, potential difference between the plates, capacitance, okay, and the last one is energy stored. If you introduce a dielectric slab between these two plates. Okay, we are going to introduce a dielectric slab whose dielectric constant is K. Similarly, again I will take another capacitor with same initial values, but this is connected to a power supply. Okay, charged. And now I will be introducing a dielectric slab with dielectric constant K. Okay, so this one is without battery, this is with battery connected to it. So we are going to study what would happen to these five physical quantities when you introduce this dielectric slab. So to begin with, first let us start with the charge. See, since there is no battery connected to it, it is an isolated capacitor. Charge on an isolated capacitor must remain constant because there is nobody to destroy the charge or give the charge. The total charge on this capacitor always remains constant. If there is a battery, battery may supply the charges or take away the charges, but here it is not connected to anything. So what remains constant? Charge remains constant. Q remains as equal to Q naught. Now let us see what would happen to electric field in the first case. When you introduce a dielectric slab, see, I have already told you in dielectrics, between the plates of a capacitor or between two parallel plates with electric field capital E naught, if you keep a dielectric, towards positive plate, a negative charge is induced due to polarization, and here we have a positive charge. So it is going to induce an electric field from positive to negative, which is opposite to your applied field. This is the induced field. And because of this induced field is reducing the existing field, the net field would become equal to E naught divided by K. Okay, we have studied this when I told you dielectrics, polar and non-polar. Whether the substance is polar or a non-polar dielectric, in the presence of an electric field, it is going to induce the field in opposite direction. The result is net field is decreased by K times. So here the field reduces to K times. And since the field is reducing to K times, what would happen to the new electric field between the plates? This will become E naught divided by K. Okay, without a battery, if you introduce a dielectric slab, charge remains constant, but electric field is decreased by K times. Since electric field is decreasing, we know for a parallel plate capacitor, what is the relation between electric field and potential difference? V by D is equal to E. Since distance between the plates is constant, if field decreases, potential also decreases. So the potential difference between the plates will also decrease by K times. Charge is constant, field is decreased, and potential difference is also decreased. Now once you know this, you can easily write what would happen to capacitance. Is capacitance Q by V? So divide the first and second relations. Q by V will give you new capacitance is Q naught by V naught by K, that is K times of C naught. So capacitance has increased by K times, whereas charge is constant, field and potential have decreased. And once you know C and V, what is the new energy stored? U dash is equal to half C into V square. So when I multiply these two, C is K C naught, V is V naught by K whole square. Okay, when you simplify it, you will get U dash as half C naught V naught square divided by K. So what does this imply? Is energy increasing or decreasing by K times? So the total energy stored by the capacitor is becoming K times of initial, or 1 by K times of initial energy. So it is decreased by K times. So these are the 5 points that you need to remember for answering 1 mark questions regarding introduction of a dielectric slab. So this is the case without a battery if you introduce a dielectric slab. Let's see what would happen if you do the same thing in the presence of an external supply or a power supply, keeping the power supply connected. So if battery is still connected to the circuit, now look at this. As you introduce this dielectric slab, the process will be seen. Field tries to decrease by K times. Potential also will try to decrease by K times. As soon as potential decreases, this battery will start supplying the charges until potential becomes equal to V naught. Again, I am repeating the statement. The moment you introduce it, field is decreasing, potential is decreasing. Since you have a battery connected, this battery will start supplying the charges to bring back the potential to original value. So what will be the new potential difference between the plates? It will come back to V naught. If potential is constant, field also remains constant. But during the process, charge has increased. Okay, since battery is supplying extra charges, it will supply a charge and the new charge will become K times of initial charge, that is Q naught. So charge has increased, field and potential were remaining constant. So if you know these three, you tell me what would happen to capacitance. C is Q divided by V. Divide both of them. Q by V is new capacitance. K Q naught by V naught is K times of C naught. That means capacitance is still increasing by K times. Then come to energy. U dash is half CV square. C has become KCV, C naught, V naught remained as it is. So energy increases by K times. So this table is important for solving a number of 1 mark questions. What would happen to charge, electric field, potential difference, capacitance, etc. when you introduce a dielectric slab in the presence of battery and in the absence of battery. So remember this table. Now if you observe the comparison, in both the cases, capacitance is increasing by K times. Here charge is constant, charge is increasing. Field is constant, potential difference and field are decreasing. Energy increases, here energy decreases. So this is one very important concept of introducing a dielectric slab. Now coming to the second part. Okay, here we'll be studying about regrouping of capacitors. Okay, the meaning of regrouping is connecting one capacitor to another capacitor. Okay, you may take a charged capacitor and then connect it to an uncharged capacitor and study what would happen. So let us start with the first case. Okay, here I'll tell you three cases. Case 1. Okay, the first capacitor is fully charged. Let the charge be Q1. Its capacitance is C1. So potential difference between the plates is V1. I am going to connect it to an uncharged capacitor. Okay, I will leave this terminals as X and Y or A and B. This is an uncharged capacitor. What is the charge on the second capacitor? 0. No charge, no potential, but its capacitance is C2. Okay, so this is your second capacitor. Okay, assume that there is a switch here. Okay, we are going to analyze what would happen when you close this switch. So obviously you can understand, because this is a charged capacitor, it is at high potential when compared to the lower. When you close the switch, charge is distributed between them until they reach one common potential. So the question will be, what is the common potential? And they may even ask you, what is the charge on the second capacitor? Or how much of energy is lost in the process? Because during the process, these wires get heated up. Energy is lost in the form of heat. So three questions can be asked. What is the common potential? How much is the charge gained by the second capacitor? Third is, what is the total amount of energy lost in the process? So let us do one by one. Now let us start with, because there is no battery connected to the system, total charge before connecting them was Q1 plus Q2. Anyway, Q2 is 0. After connecting or closing the switch, let the charge on this be Q1 dash and charge on this be Q2 dash. So total charge before connecting must be equal to total charge after connecting. That is Q1 dash plus Q2 dash should be equal to Q1 plus Q2. I'll call this as equation 1. Then once you write this, okay, I'll write C2 here. Capacitance of this capacitor is C2. Okay, call this as equation 1. Now, what is the equivalent capacitance between the terminals A and B? If this is C1 and this is C2, the total capacitance will become parallel combination C1 plus C2. Call this as equation 2. You know the total charge and you know the total capacitance. So the potential difference, that means the common potential to which these two capacitors are going to reach, I can write it as Q1 dash plus Q2 dash divided by C1 plus C2, or that is nothing but Q1, that is the initial charge what we have given to the upper capacitor, divided by C1 plus C2. See, we have got this common potential. You can further simplify it. Can I write Q1 as C1 V1? So it is C1 V1 divided by C1 plus C2. So this gives you the common potential for the two capacitors after you connect them. So before connecting, potentials for V1 and 0, but after connecting, both the capacitors will reach a common potential, that is V. And once you know the common potential, it's easy to find Q1 dash and Q2 dash. Okay, what will be Q1 dash? Q1 will be C1 into V and Q2 dash will be C2 into the V, because we already know what is that common potential. It is C1 V1 by C1 plus C2. So this is how you can find out the charges and the common potential when uncharged capacitor is connected to a charged capacitor. Okay, so this is the first case of regrouping. Now look at second case. Okay, what would happen if both the capacitors are charged and you are connecting one capacitor to another capacitor? Okay, case 2 I'll write here. Okay, so this is the first capacitor which is charged, positive and negative. Let this be Q1 and minus Q1. Okay, so this capacitor, these are the two terminals A and B. We are going to join to another capacitor with charge Q2. This is plus and minus. Okay, we are going to close the switch and study. So let the capacitance be C2, potential is V2, charge be Q2. For the first capacitor, charge is Q1, potential is V1 and capacitance is C1. Now in case 2, observe carefully how are we connecting the two capacitors. Positive plate we are going to connect to positive, because again here two cases will arise. Okay, when you are connecting two charged capacitors, how are you making the connection? Positive to positive and negative to negative, or opposite? Positive of this is connected to negative of the second. That also we will study, but here I am taking positive to positive. Now see what is the total charge before connection. Okay, if I take this as an isolated system, okay, this plate and this plate put together an isolated system. Charge on this is Q1 and Q2. Before connecting, charge was Q1 and Q2. After connecting, redistribution takes place. Let the charges be Q1 dash and Q2 dash. Call this as equation 1. Sum of the charges before should be equal to sum of the charges after connecting, since you are connecting positive to positive. Now equivalent capacitance, this remains as C1 plus C2, call this as equation 2. So divide these two, we will get the common potential. So what is the common potential now? Q1 plus Q2 divided by C1 plus C2. And you can replace this Q1 and Q2. Okay, can I write Q1 as C1 V1 and Q2 as C2 V2. So the common potential will be C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. So this formula gives you the common potential to which both the capacitors will reach after you connect positive to positive and negative plate to negative. And once you know V, as I told you, it's easy to find out what is the charge on first and the second capacitor. Okay, the charge on the first capacitor Q1 dash will be C1 into V and this will be C2 into V. Now the third case. Okay, hope you understood what would be the third case. If I connect positive terminal to negative of the second. See, in this we are connected in parallel, positive to positive and negative to negative. What would happen if I reverse it? Okay, if you reverse this, if this is plus, this will be minus. Q2 will be negative because negative plate is this side. What will this equation become? Instead of Q1 plus Q2, okay, if negative plates are connected, opposite plates are connected together. Okay, look at the third case. Charge is Q1, potential V1 and capacitance is C1. Okay, we are connecting to another capacitor. Charge Q2, capacitance C2, potential is V2. Positive is connected to negative plate. This is Q1 minus Q1 minus Q2 plus Q2. Now take this isolated system. If I take this system as isolated between two plates, what is the total initial charge? Q1 minus Q2. After joining, let the charges be Q1 dash and Q2 dash. Total charge initial should be equal to total charge final. Then equivalent capacitance C1 plus C2. Divide both of them. This ratio gives you common potential. So the common potential would be Q1 minus Q2 by C1 plus C2, where Q1 is C1 V1 and Q2 is C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. So this gives you the formula for common potential. See, observe these two formulas. There we had a plus sign in between, but here we have a minus sign. C1V1 minus C2V2 by C1 plus C2. So this is how you can find out the common potential, okay, when two capacitors are being joined, okay, positive to positive or negative to negative, positive to negative and negative to positive. And now one more bit I have asked you. What is the energy lost in the whole process? See, during this regrouping, energy is lost in the form of heat. Okay, to get the energy lost, okay, we should know what is the initial energy of the system and final energy. So energy lost would be U initial minus U final. Initial energy will be more and final energy will be less. So I will take the example of case 2, because here itself you can make the modification as per the requirement. Suppose you are connecting dissimilar plates, you can make V2 negative. If second capacitor is uncharged, put V2 as equal to 0. So I will take this and derive the relation. What is the initial energy of this system? Half charge is Q1 or half C1 V1 square, right? For the first capacitor. Energy stored by second capacitor. Half C2 V2 square. Finally, half C1 V square, where V is the common potential, we already got the formula, plus half C into C2 into V square. So energy lost should be the difference of these two. So when you replace this V as C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2, I am not showing you the complete derivation. After simplifying this relation, okay, you can put the value, simplify and finally find out the answer. You get the answer as half C1 C2 by C1 plus C2 into V1 minus V2 whole square. So this gives you the formula for energy lost in the process. So now you can modify this general relation for all the three cases. For case 1, put V2 equal to 0 because second capacitor is uncharged. For case 2, the same formula. But for case 3, you will make V2 as negative. If V2 becomes negative, minus of minus, you will get plus sign. So maximum amount of energy is lost when positive plate is connected to negative and negative plate is connected to positive. So you can remember this expression for energy loss for objective questions and even this common potential formula, so that with no much calculations you can easily find out what is the energy lost in the process. So these are the two parts of capacitors, introducing dielectric slab and studying the regrouping of capacitors. So that's all in today's class. Okay, so go through these concepts. So I will tell you in the next class some applications related to this capacitor.